Hey, it's mskelliemichele. Welcome back to my channel. So today we have Harriet Harris on the call with us, or on the video, I should say. Say hello.
Hi.
So she is an expert in business planning. So we had our last video and we were talking about how to set up a business and how do we set up our banking accounts and things like that. So this is kind of a continuation of that, because with any business, even your corporate rental or your midterm rental business, you have to have a plan and know what direction you're going in, right? You have to set those goals.
Absolutely.
So this is something I thought was very important, because I am kind of at this crossroads of trying to figure out my next steps and my next plan. So Harriet is a good person to talk to, and she is going to go over her visual business plan with us. But first, let Harriet introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I am Harriet Harris, and I am the Limitless Business Coach. What I do is I help ambitious women get over themselves so that they can finally create the life and business that they love and enjoy. I am a mom, I'm a wife, I am a business owner. I have owned several businesses, started them right from scratch all by myself. I always tell people it was just me and Google back then, but now that I have had the opportunity to start several businesses for myself, I've learned a lot of things, and I've learned a lot of things that I would say that I like to help people not make those same mistakes. So one of the things that I really love doing is helping people avoid the mistakes that I made. Because let me tell you, I made some. So that's just a little bit about me. So thank you so much, Kelly, for inviting me to join.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, I've had multiple businesses, still do, and definitely I've made some mistakes. But that's the purpose of sharing this information, so that we can help people. We can put them on the right path and guide them so they don't make the same mistakes that we have made. I know I share a lot of tips and information about my corporate rental and midterm rental business and things people should and should not do. So this is kind of along the same lines. Let's get ourselves set up the right way so we are setting ourselves up for success. Now,
Absolutely.
Harriet, I want you to go ahead and let's take a look at your visual business plan, okay? So you can share that with the audience.
Okay, absolutely. So this is what I like to call a visual business plan. And I'll actually walk through this with you, but I just really want to start by just telling you, just talking a little bit about business plans and its benefits. So there are really varying opinions. So some people feel like, you do need a business plan. Some people feel like you don't. Some people say, only if you want funding or you want investors. And while those are very good reasons to have a business plan, I personally am pro business plan. I don't care what kind of business. It can be an online business. It can be a brick and mortar business. It doesn't matter to me. I feel like that you need a business plan, like everyone. And why? It's because it helps you. It helps you to understand the cost that it's going to take. And that is so important when we are starting a business, right? Because we need to know what it's going to take to start. A lot of times I found that people don't do that thing, that start that business, go after their dreams, their purpose, their passion, because they're so afraid of the cost. They don't even sometimes know, but sometimes when we can take something and put it to paper and like get a visual, it also helps you to create like ideas of how am I going to make this work? Right. So it helps you understand cost. It helps you understand the people, right? Not only the people that you need to get started, but the people that you're going to help, the people that you're going to serve. When we start a business, we have people in mind. Like, we want to make money, but we want to serve people, whether we are making t-shirts, or we are helping people start corporate rental businesses, or we're helping people start businesses. Our objective, like the ultimate goal, is to help people. Right. So you want to understand the people that you are going to help. You want to know about them. You want to learn about them. You want to know like what their desires are, kind of get an idea of what age they are, kind of get an idea of we often call it like our target audience, right? So we want to understand that audience because we need to know how to reach them. So if you don't know who you're going after, you don't know how to get them, to get a
Right.
hold of them. Right. So, and then the other thing a business plan does is it helps you to understand how things flow. Right. So you can have an idea in mind and you can say, okay, I want to do this. But if you don't know how to go from, the people that you want to reach, understanding how you're going to help them, like what problem they have, what solution you're going to bring, understanding like what you need to get started, like whether it's a website or the money you need or the different types of technology you need, like all of that is so important. And those are just a few of the things that a business plan helps you to lay out. So I personally like to think of a business plan as a crystal ball for your business. And the reason is because it helps you to like look into the future. It helps you to really understand and like predict different outcomes by providing you with the visibility of where you currently are and then where you're planning to go. So that is, like I said, why I call it a crystal ball. But it also helps you stay on track. So, and this is from experience. Like I will often talk about my personal experience. So one of the things that I found that I did with one of the businesses that I've had is that I was all over the place. Like I was not always working on the right activities. So, you have those income producing activities, or, sometimes it's easier to work on your website than it is to work on your marketing. But when you have a plan, where you need to put your time and your energy so that you're focused on the right things. And I mean, honestly, it really creates the foundation for a successful business. Like, think about this. If you were going to build a house, would you want a builder who told you that he didn't have a blueprint?
Oh, no.
Right?
No.
Because I mean, can you imagine what it would be like walking in that house and like walls are in places where doors are supposed to be, windows are in places where the refrigerator is supposed to be? Like, it could be a mess. And then you could have things all over the place. So I'm like, to me, it's kind of the same concept, right? So I find it, I try to look, I kind of look at it the same way. Like, my house needs to have a blueprint and my business needs to have a blueprint, because
Yep.
I want to, and you think about it though, when you have a house that's being built and you're looking at that blueprint, it helps you to like see the future. Like, you can imagine yourself standing in the driveway, you can imagine yourself walking through the doors, you have a visual understanding of what that house is going to look like. And you kind of start working through that home that you're going to have. So that is, like I said, if you don't have a blueprint, you're going to have a mess of a house. If you don't have a business plan, you can have a mess of a business.
Yes.
So yeah, so I mean, truthfully, I know that a formal business plan is a lot. It's a lot of work because you're really putting a lot of information into it. So I really think a formal business plan really gets a bad rep because of all the things that it includes, right? But that info is like gold for your business. Like, it's so helpful. It's so because it helps you to understand the business better than you ever can. And so I'll give an example of a business that I have. And one of the things I did poorly was marketing.
Okay.
I was terrible. Like I was inconsistent. And that was probably the biggest issue, is that, I had a product and I kind of, I was always like, oh, there's a new something that I can create. Oh, so I had all these products, all these services, all these ideas, but they were just kind of like dangling along. And, and then I kept saying, well, why isn't my business doing this? Like, I have a good reputation. I get good feedback. I get great reviews on my website. Like, why is my business not growing? And it was because I was doing so many different things that I was not like creating something that flowed well.
Okay.
And that was a problem. So, like I said, the formal business plan, it gets a bad rep, but I would tell people that if you aren't ready for that formal business plan, but you still have like an idea, if you aren't like running to get funding or running to get investors, a quick and easy way to get really an understanding of your business is to go with this visual business plan.
Okay.
Right. And it's a great way to start understanding those key parts of your business. And for me, the best part is you can actually use this as input into a formal business plan. Mm-hmm. So let's kind of talk through that. And you can let me know if you have any questions. So you want to start out again with your customer, understanding who do you serve? What's your target audience? What do they like to do? What is their age? What is, their age range? Are you focused on males, females? Because how you market to these different people, it's going to matter. So, right. So you want to understand that. And then you want to understand
something before you continue.
Sure.
Can I throw something there as an example?
Absolutely.
So for customers, that would be like your traveling medical professionals, your insurance companies, students. So those niche groups that we cater to, those will be your customers. So as Harriet goes along, if I can think of examples for these different categories, perfect. And I'll throw them out there. Okay. So let's go ahead to the next one, which is problem.
Okay, right. So then you want to consider, what problem does your customer have? So what is it that they need? Because what you don't want to do is create a business where no one needs what you're offering. So you really want to focus on ensuring that when you create whatever your business is, whatever your product, your service is, that when you create that you have a problem to solve in mind. You don't want to create something and then it just kind of sits there because nobody needs it. You did no research on it. You didn't find out who would have wanted it. So that part is super important to understand the problem.
Okay.
I don't know if you have an example here.
So for the problem, this would be, let's just say, for example, university students, there isn't enough housing on campus. So therefore, these students need places to stay. That's where your furnished rental, your midterm rental would come into play. So that would be solving a problem.
Right. Okay. And then you have your solution. And this is where it really gets into what you're going to create, right? What that product or service is, because you're going to answer the question now, what are you offering? And what will your customer get? So what is it? So if, for the example that Kellie just gave, when there are too many students and not enough housing, they're going to get some housing, from whatever it is that you're going to create, right? So you are going to create a business that allows them to solve the problem of not having enough housing. So the solution is very important to identify. And then the alternatives. So what do customers do right now about this problem? And then what's your competition? Believe me when I say you want to research and understand the competition, because you just need to know what's out there. And if for no other reason, you want to show like how you can make it better, right? So you want to look at what they do about it now, like what alternatives do they have, because you want to consider that in your solution.
Okay.
Then you want to look at your startup needs. So what is it that you need to get started? How much money? What kind of, the people? This is now we're not looking at the customers. Now we're looking at what kind of people that like maybe you need to work with. Are you going to need some investors? Are you going to need a partner? Are you going to need someone to handle the technology because you may not know how to do it? So now you're going to start looking at what it is that you need to get going. And then just look at all those activities, because you want to lay that out. You want to lay that out because you don't want to just say, oh yeah, I need a website, but then you don't consider, well, who's going to create it? Do you know how to create websites? Right. So you want to consider that as well. And you also want to identify the cost that's associated with what you need, because this is, again, what's going to help you understand what it's going to take to start your business. Don't write it off because you think it's going to cost too much. Understand what it's going to cost. You may have some loved one who just loves you so much that they want to, donate, whatever that number is, but
Right.
no one can give you that, or no one can help you with it if you can't even give them a number to say, well, this is what I need. Right.
Right.
So you want to make sure you have that. And then your message. What will you tell your customers about you, and how will you tell them? So when you think about, how are you going to introduce your product, your business, your services? What message are you going to tell them? Are you going to tell them that, you have the best short-term rentals, on the East Coast, West Coast, in the South? Like, what are you going to tell them? And then how do you plan on doing it? So you really this is kind of where you start to think about your marketing, your message. Like, how are you going to reach them? Are you going to use, this is a little old school, but are you going to knock on people's doors? Are you going to, maybe not, but are you going to knock on people's doors? Are you going to, mail postcards? Are you going to shoot emails? How are you going to get people's emails? Like, those are things that you need to start considering, like what it is that you're going to do to share information with people, and then how to share it. Are you going to post on social media? Those sorts of things.
Right. So in regards to corporate rentals or midterm rentals, this could be, where are you listing your property? Who are you going to go after to try to get contracts? What system are you using for that? Who are you catering to? So let's just say if you are catering to students, or are you going to create relationships with those universities and, things like that? Or are you creating relationships with hospitals or staffing agencies to get those contracts and people to fill your properties? So where are you putting things out? Like Harriet said, is it going to be social media? Are you going to create Facebook pages for your property or your properties? Like, how are you going to get it out to the masses?
Absolutely. And then revenue, because this is the most important part, because nobody starts a business and doesn't want to make money. Like, it's just not what we do. We are starting businesses. Number one, we want to serve people because we want to provide them with something that we have to give, that we know that is unique and special to us, like, because we're the person that can do it. But we also want to make money. So this is where you really lay out, like, how are you going to make your money? In the example for short-term rentals, is it, you're going to have X amount of short-term rentals? Are you also going to, provide some specialty upgrade? Like, I don't know how short-term rentals work, but, just thinking of,
how do you make
just
more
in general,
money?
right? How do you not only get money from your short-term rentals, but like, how are you going to make some extra money? Are you going to like have a VIP club? Like, I don't know if that's even a thing, but if it is, if not, there's an idea. But
so this would be like upselling. So like, for example,
right.
if you stay somewhere and they have a car available for you, can you charge, how much you're going to charge for that car, or extra cleanings, or, any kind of upsells that you may have to get extra money from your corporate rental or your midterm rental? That's what will be in revenue.
Absolutely. Yes, that is it. And then distribution. This is how you will deliver your product or service. Now, in the case of a short-term rental, I don't think you really have to worry about distribution as much, but there may be some way, like maybe how are you going to distribute your keys, or how are you going to, notify them of the balance due? Like, I don't know if that is maybe a way that you can use distribution, but just some additional things to consider just about your business. And like I say, the great thing is when you start writing this stuff down, you start thinking of more ideas. And so that's what, what I really love. Okay. And then, so the next one is benefits. Let me see if I can move this up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Why will customers want what you have to offer? So what extra little uniqueness is it about you that's gonna make it stand out and special? Like, what is it about your short-term rental that is different from everybody else's? What little special thing did you think about? Like, are you, leaving a case of water? I'm making this up, y'all. But, are you leaving a case of water or a $25 Kroger gift card so they can get grocery? Like, are you doing something unique or special or, stand outish? So you want to put that here. And then that way, if you come up with more things, it can continue to grow like that list, right?
As far as benefits are concerned, I mean, I think the examples you gave were pretty good. Like just leaving those things, the shampoos, the soaps, some people do different things. So whatever it is you want to do, not necessarily that you have to do those things, you do what's in your budget, but yeah, I mean, if there's something you can think of that is budget friendly that you want to provide as a benefit, then that would go in this space.
Perfect. And then advantage, what makes you a better choice than competitors? So here you would probably lean a little bit on your benefits because, you want to think about what you're doing that's different. Now, again, we're going to go back. We won't go back, but if you think about when we talked about, looking at the alternatives, in the alternative section, we talked about your competition. So because you've already done the research to figure out what your competitors are doing, you can answer this and say, okay, I am a better choice than my competitors because of blah. And then, great part about having it written down and in front of your face, you can include that in your message, right? Make sure that people are aware as you are sharing about your business that they know that what your advantages are. And then lastly, it's cost. What will you need for your business to open and function? So we looked at what it takes to start up. And then now we're going to really focus in some of those same activities. I may have jumped the gun here, and talked about cost here, but this is where we really want to focus on those costs. So we've identified what you need here. So now you want to talk about what those costs are associated with it. So again, very similar to before, you want to know what it costs to get started so that you can, whether it's a plan you have to create for yourself to save, or what you need to pull out of your savings because you already got it, or because you know someone who loves you so much that they want to help you and they're just going to slide it over to you, but they have to know a number, right? Because you don't want to tell them, oh, it's about $1,500, but it's really a $3,500, and they would have given you the whole $3,500, but you didn't tell them. Know those numbers. That is super important.
So to be clear, startup needs is just a list of what you need. So it could be your team, like you said, an investor, furniture, like those would be startup needs. A place, like a property.
Correct.
Startup costs would be the money associated with that. So how much do you need from an investor? How much will it cost to buy a property, or how much will it cost to rent a property? Like those specific costs goes under cost. So that's the difference between the two, just to make sure we're clear.
Correct. And you know what, with startup needs, there may be some things that you need that don't take money, right? It could be an activity. So that is I'm glad you went back and clarified that, because that is a good difference between the two, is that you want to make sure that you put everything that you need in startup needs, but then the things that will also cost, make sure you put those in, transition those to your cost, and then find the associated costs to go with them.
Okay, cool. All right, well, Harriet, is there anything you would like to share as far as how do people get in contact with you if they want this visual, a visual business plan? That's what I want to say. If they want this visual business plan, if they want to get in contact with you, tell them about how they can get this stuff and how they can work with you if they want to do that as a business coach.
Absolutely. So you can find me. I actually have this template that I will be sharing with Kellie that you can download from my website for free.
Okay.
And when you use that link, you'll also see, like right here, I'm at Harriet M. Harris MBA. I am on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. So you can follow me at any of those locations. again, you'll have my website. I'll be sharing this with Kellie so that you can get your own visual business plan so that you can, go ahead and create this for yourself. You can download this, start filling in those boxes. And, if you're ready to go ahead and make an official, formal business plan, you're ready to, do that, I am happy to help you. You can, again, from my website, you can reach out to me, contact me. My email is contact@harrietmharris.com. So you can feel free to reach out to me via email, message me on social, and I will also in the next few weeks be announcing a new course, challenge, actually, a free challenge that I'll be hosting called Build Your Business Plan in 5 Days. So if you are ready to make that formal business plan and you take these, items here and fill it in, we can actually take what you have and we can put it into your actual formal business plan. So this is a great start. Like I said, it's great input. It's a great place to start. So yeah, that will be coming out soon. So if you're following me, you will get all that info in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to put all of Harriet's information in the description below. And before we kind of hopped on the video, Harriet and I were talking about this visual business plan. I was just expressing like, I had a vision for my business and what I wanted to happen, but now I've reached certain goals and it's time for me to come up with another plan, like what's next, So this is something I actually have to sit down and do again myself. And I think it's good for the visual business plan for me, just because a regular business plan is not something I wanted to sit down and spend time doing. The visual plan is really a summary, and it's really good to just hit those key points. And then you can eventually take this information and put it into a regular business plan, like Harriet said. But if you're just a person like me who just needs like an idea, okay, this is what I need to focus on, this is where I'm trying to go, this is my plan, the visual business plan will be a great way to get started. So make sure you guys sign up for her free 5-day challenge so you can get your plan on a roll. And even if you're not in corporate rentals or midterm rentals, you might be in another type of business. This goes for any type of business. You always have to have a direction for your business. So just keep that in mind. All right. So I would like to thank you guys for watching this video today. Make sure you like and subscribe. I keep coming to you with some great information, so you can always utilize it as resources. I often put stuff in the description as well. And if you want to learn from me about corporate rentals or midterm rentals, I do have my self-study course that is in the description below, and my work with me private one-on-one page is going to be down there as well. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and we will talk to you later. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.